Hey guys, it's Kevin Shaw here. Thought I'd do something a little different and do a little voiceover on some uncut footage taken from the very tail end of our Panhandle ride, recorded back in November, where we're just cutting around and pinning the throttle up and down the Tensas River, which cuts through the middle of Satsuma, Alabama. And we were just in a small group of 9 guys, including myself. And at this time, you can see that red VXR. That's Tony Dalton. He's the guy who actually had a pretty big get-off earlier in the ride. He's fine. In fact, he and I went out to dinner after the ride. But way up ahead, leading the pack, is Brad Bertrand on his bright yellow 2019 Sea-Doo RX TX 300. He's got a big 18 and a half gallon tank on the back. He just shot up the brakes right now. He loves the IBR on his skis, and he's always slamming hard on the brakes. I don't know what, but he did it all the time. This second reel, this one's a little longer. This is me chasing him. I didn't want to be too high up on his wake, just because I wanted to be able to negotiate the bayous here, especially where it's tight. But you are going to see me get the RX PX up to around 71 miles an hour. This ski does around 75, even around 76. I can tickle 76, but I really got to have the gas tank empty, and I had about 60 pounds of cargo on the back, including 2 totally topped off Sure cans and my rack. So that came up to about 62 pounds. That does play a big factor in getting the RX PX up to those mid 70 numbers. The other half of that was knowing we were doing a lot of offshore, a lot of rough water. I had moved the adjustable blades on the Pro Series sponsons up another notch. I went from 3 to 2, and in doing so, that made the tail a little bit looser, so I'm not really cutting in all too hard. You'll actually hear me kind of grunt a little bit as I'm really leaning hard into one turn with the throttle pin, and that is just because I'm feeling the tail start to loosen up. And I'm also recording this with a GoPro camera on a rubberized mouth mount. If you guys haven't ever seen those before, it kind of looks like a snorkel mount that you put in your mouth, and it just has a GoPro fitting. So you might be hearing a little bit of audio of me having the camera literally in my mouth. But this was actually a really neat part of the ride, and was something kind of fun to give the guys, kind of like taking them out on a go-kart track after a pretty hard day of rough water and racking up well over 175 miles. We were just kind of burning off the last little bit of adrenaline as we ran around through these channels, and obviously it's opened up a little bit. We had some tighter stuff at the beginning, but this was a lot of fun. Really enjoyed this ride. I've been on the fence about doing more endurance rides. I unfortunately was not able to attend the New Orleans ride that we had been planning for months. That one really broke my heart, but I had come down with a pretty nasty case of COVID pneumonia, and that laid me out for a couple weeks. But thankfully I'm back, and back on the water, and putting up a few more hours up on the RX PX. So maybe a lot of you guys who have been begging me for another endurance ride, I might take you up on it. But I do have to say that this RX PX has really been a lot of fun this year, and especially with the Pro Series sponsons and the SCOM, it's really unlocked a lot of fun and a lot of potential out of this machine.